I'm still having trouble with this string trimmer, and I'm sticking a compression gauge on it. I don't know if I can get that in the video or not. I'll try to set this up in a way where the camera can see it. See if it'll stay put long enough since I don't have a third hand for you to watch. I was getting 130 pounds. Maybe 135. That is very good compression for a small 2-cycle motor. I'm not an expert on this. I watch a couple other guys on YouTube. Donnie Boy 73, I think, is the number he puts with his name. He's pretty good. Bruce Pender, I watch him. He's another fellow from Canada that works on small engines, mostly lawnmowers. Trying to keep from taking this whole thing apart. I have a suspicion that I may have an ignition issue. I'm going to borrow a spark plug. I don't normally do small engines here. I work on trucks and cars, but I'm going to borrow a spark plug from another one of my small engines, either a chainsaw or another weed eater. I'm not going to go buy a new one. This spark plug's really not that bad. I seriously doubt this is the problem, but we'll just keep going. We'll get to the bottom of it one way or another. This is a learning experience for me because I don't mess with trimmers. Chainsaws, yeah, because I cut stumps, I grind stumps on the side and cut trees up. So I have had chainsaws, many of those apart. Anyway, I just took these 3 screws out right here. This one here, I didn't take it out. I thought, well, let's see what happens. Well, I don't need to take that one out because I pulled and it all came right off. So this is obviously your centrifugal clutch right here, which we're not concerned with yet. We're looking for ignition, why the motor won't run. Let's see what's up next. I am still trying to find out how to get this clutch off. I just started looking at it, but I'm not too worried about that right at the moment because I found something else. On a chainsaw, there's just a little place you put a screwdriver on it and you tap the screwdriver with a hammer and it shows you the direction of rotation, and when you tap it counterclockwise or counter direction and it will spin the clutch off. Well, this might work that way, I don't know yet, but I found something that is crucial. Look here, what I just found in this crankcase gasket cover. If I can get this on here, look at that O-ring that has come out of there. Now on a regular 4-cycle engine, that would be an oil leak. You could clean it up real good and seal it up with some ultra blue silicone and probably limp along without taking the thing apart. But on a 2-cycle, there is no way this thing is going to run like that, because you have to pressurize the tank. I mean, you have to pressurize the crankcase area when it's running. When the piston goes down, it compresses air and fuel mixture in the crankcase area, and then when the piston goes down far enough, it exposes an inlet port that allows that pressurized fuel to squirt into the cylinder. Well, in this case, it's not going to do that. It's not going to pressurize the crankcase, because it's going to push that when the piston goes down. Instead of pressurizing the mixture in the crankcase, it's going to push it right out of this area. Where am I? It's going to push it right out of that area where that seal has come out of there. Now, I don't know if I can loosen up some screws and get that seal to go back in and maybe help it with some glue, or if I have to get a kit for it. We'll find out. But I should have figured something was fishy when I saw all of this oil and gunk all around this thing, because it's a relatively new machine. It's only, I think he said it's 2 years old. My guess is somebody did not tighten down some screws good and allowed that thing to vibrate out, and it came out of there. So we may not even need to take this end apart. I'm going to find out here though. Got this outside cover off of there, and just 2 little screws that hold it on, and it looks like this here just comes right off. This is broken. I didn't know that. Wow. We have to replace this. The O-ring is broken, so we cannot reuse that. And the ear is broken off of this. And this is all wallered out over here from vibrating and bouncing around. It's a wonder the thing didn't throw a rod, because this is the other end. If you look in there, you'll see this is your connecting rod right here. That's your connecting rod right there to the piston, and this is the counterweight on the other side. And this is the end that supports. Of course, this is your working end over here. That's the end that goes out to the trimmer head, and this is the end that supports the other side of it. And this spins also on here. And this is all hammering and broken here. Of course, we could probably just spin this around and stick it on this hole here, but this whole thing needs to go anyway. I don't know if I did that in camera or not. This hole here, I'm going to have to check this connecting rod over here, because this thing, this pin, which would be your crank journal, has been beating this thing to death. I gotta see if there's any serious damage on this. This might be a much softer metal in it, and it took all the beating where this one survived. We'll just have to look in there and see. I get to put this motor back together now. I've been waiting for parts. This is the piece I need. This is the broken one. The ear's broken off right here on this side. This is my little camera table, and I just got it so occupied with so many things I don't really have room to work. I don't have it cleaned up, so I can't use my monitor that's over here underneath this towel, because I just got let things get away from me. I put the screws back where they belong so I wouldn't lose them or get them mixed up. It only has 2. I don't see why it makes any difference which one of these holes I put the crankshaft into. I'm going to line these up straight in between these mounting ears. And I'm going to do the same thing with the crankshaft in here. I think it's about where it needs to be. It doesn't go in there by much. Only 1/8 of an inch or so. I guess that should be enough. This has 2 little metal spacers inside of here. I'm going to push one out so you can see what it is. A little thing there. And this thing just gets mounted on here. I got a screw up here I have to get out. I'm going to back this out so you can see more what I'm doing here.
I'm looking for a favor.
Okay.
Can I park my cars in your property?
Well, got a little competition with the noise. Put my fuel lines on. I had to look inside the tank here. Well, first I cheated. I looked inside another weed eater I got here that happens to have the same motor on it. That orange one down there has the same motor, and I had to look inside to see which one of these fuel lines goes where, because one goes to the fuel filter that hangs in the bottom of the tank. The other one is a return line going to this pump. And as it turns out, the one going to the bottom, the long one, that goes to the back side, or the one that's farther in on the carburetor. And then the return line is this little short one here. You have to look in the tank to make sure, because they can stick them in either hole on the tank. But one of them's short, and that one goes out here to the outside, and the long one goes to the one out on the inside. Now I'm going to try it out. Put some gas in it. Got the thing all put back together. Sorry about the noise once again. And we got a leaking primer bulb. I just stuck a different used primer bulb on it. Let's see if that'll work. It's not leaking yet. think we got it.